All right, should be coming on momentarily. What's up, everybody? This is the Osmo.com NHL DFS strategy show, and we got a pretty good slate for a Wednesday. This is good to see. 5 games right in the wheelhouse. So we're not, just grinding these 2 gamers, these showdown slates. We've got a real one tonight, and Nolan is here to join me. How's it going, Nolan?
What's going on?
The usual, man. Just trying to bake some of these NHL tournaments.
You were close last night.
I was close last night, but we'll take a look in lineup study and see what ultimately ended up taking it down. And we can look at my lineups. Paying up at D seemed to work out yesterday. Carlson, huge game when we were dogging him a little bit. And then Yossi as well. So those were kind of the two defensemen that made it happen near the top, especially over on DraftKings. Boston one failed a little bit, so that was kind of weird to see. I mean, they weren't terrible. You were able to do okay with them, but outside of that, they not a normal Boston one game. What looked like about the best spot you could have asked for. All right, what do we
Just
got
goes
going
to
on?
show, man. There's so many different ways to attack it. I can't believe I broke even with Boston one. Honestly, that they did so poorly, but or relatively poorly to their price point. But man, like getting off them on slates like that sometimes, and going for like some of these other lines in some top spots like San Jose and Colorado one would have been a smart move. Both those lines projected out pretty well for
Yeah.
us.
Yandel too. Brian in YouTube chats reminded me. Yeah, Yandel. I wasn't there, but I think he had a 3 point night and a goal. He was huge. Um,
All my Yandle teams had Bobrovsky, so I was dead.
oh dang. Yeah. If you correlated goalie, uh,
Stack.
I think he had negative points or maybe only a couple points on
Yeah, for
DraftKings. So we'll go through lineup study, but we are of course presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Lower management fees, weaker competition. You see just 10% in the 200K NFL baller that they're rolling out. They've been rolling out all season. Got some pretty nice NBA contests. 5K to first in this $10, 12% management fees, about 75% of what you're going to see on some other sites, specifically DraftKings and Fanduel. And then they still got a bunch of NHL contests. So if you like playing the lower stakes stuff, the low max, and kind of grinding that out, I think Yahoo is a great place to play. So you've had some success on Yahoo, and I like playing their NFL games quite a bit over there. So thank you to Yahoo for sponsoring us. And when you guys do sign up on Yahoo, promo code Osmo gets you up to $30 of Yahoo Sports rewards points. So pretty nice bonus they're offering. So shout out to Yahoo. We've got a bunch more free stuff today. So Spags and Laffy broke down NFL ownership projections.
I thought you
Uh,
were going to say they broke down the site.
what's that?
I thought you were going to say they broke down the site.
Oh, well, they did break down. We did break down the site yesterday. The NBA guys, you know about that. I mean, so apologies if you're
It happens,
if
right?
you're yeah if you're an NBA guy and you had some trouble with the site, but they did a giveaway based on likes, and that ended up crashing the site a little bit. So we're working on trying to figure that out. But we want to give away some stuff for free and then keep a bunch of stuff behind the paywall like the tools. But we unlock various things in each sport every day. So today you've got the NFL ownership projections. Check these out. These will change, but kind of a good first look at the slate. And then for NHL ownership projections as well, these just came out, so we'll reference these. We'll talk real numbers. You guys can follow along, see what you agree with, see what you disagree with. I think that'll make for some good discussion. So check those out. NHL DFS ownership projections, and then keeping with the ownership theme, NBA ownership rankings are also free today. So
Nice.
go check those out. Open up 3 more tabs. Of course, keep us on. But other than that, I think this will make for a pretty good slate. We don't have super heavy chalk. I need to press refresh here. We don't have super heavy chalk, but 1, 2, 3 lines up there, around 20%. And then outside of that, pretty wide open slate for a 5 gamer. So looks like it's going to be pretty fun. Again, follow along with those ownership projections. Let's look at lineup study from last night. I always open up the $10 or the $8, whatever it is, See a bunch of familiar names up at the top. Dollar Bill, Tom, Testosterone, myself. I got a top 5 score last night, but ultimately did not end up profiting. So, it's more of the winner take all mentality when you're playing these large field GPPs, and you got to get up in the top, and then hopefully things go your way. So PSU alum, is that right? PSU alum, yeah. PSU alum took it down just 5 entries, but kind of crushed on all of them. Took down the top 2 spots for 10,000 and 4,000 bucks. McKinnon hurdled Donskoy, Calvert, and then so basically SJ2 left out Barkley Goudreau and went Tyler Toffoli with full Colorado 1, Carlson and Schultz. Schultz scored uncorrelated goalie with Kemper, just 5.4% ownership. I think he was the highest scoring goalie, so ended up really working out, even though
really?
What's that?
Kemper I was getting so much Kemper, and I manually got rid of him yesterday. So another one of those trusted projections moments,
Yeah.
You got to hedge a little bit, but still.
For sure. Yeah. So really, really, good lineup here. Probably more of a hand-built rather than an optimizer lineup. And, yeah, you got it done. So, dude, McKinnon's just on another level, by the way. Were we talking about this yesterday? It feels like whenever Landeskog and Rantanen go out, he just goes into God mode and just, he's averaging 7 shots a game in the 7 games either. I think Landeskog's been out. So, I don't know, man. If you thought that Colorado 1 was dead just because Rantanen and Landeskog were out, I guess you've been wrong, because he's just been on another level and taking his line mates along for the ride. Donskoy and Matt Calvert also scored 20-plus points. So Colorado 1 was the nut stack. There was really no getting around that. It was just a matter of, did you have the right defenseman? And it looks like PSU alum just crushed it with his one-offs and the goalie play and all that stuff. So really nice lineup there. Congrats to him. And then you see Dollar Bill up there. Myself, I don't know. We can look at my top lineup. My defenseman really carried me here. I had Yossi and Carlson in my top lineup. 26.5 for Yossi, almost 28 for Erik Karlsson. So I actually tempered my exposure on Karlsson a little bit. So I was kind of kicking myself when I saw that this morning. I wasn't sweating this, so I don't know if I was up near the top or what, or if I dropped down or got there right at the end. Yeah, top 5 finish, always nice. So saved me from losing, a bunch of my entry fees, but ultimately did not end up profiting in the rest of my 149 lineups in this tournament. Quick look at the 295. It was 25K to first. What did we have here? Don't know this user, but another 5 lineups, and it looks like McKinnon, Donskoy, Calvert, Timo, Burns, Grizzlick. Okay, so full SJ2 with Colorado 1, Brent Burns, Grizzlick, and Jordan Binnington. So I don't even think he got the win here, and he was able to take down the 25K.
Wow.
That's just your classic 3-3. What's that?
So you don't even have to be perfect.
Yeah, you certainly don't. But if you multi-enter this, and it looks like he played a variety of different stacks, then if you hit on the right combos, you're going to be doing okay, especially in a tournament that only featured 344 total entries. So you don't have to be perfect in these big tournaments, but you're taking on a lot of risk if you're putting in these kind of entries and you're maxing it. That's almost a $3,000 investment if you max out this tournament. So still really tough to take down, really tough to profit. Usually a little bit of a flatter payout on these type of tournaments, except when they do like 50K to first and 20 to second and 10 to third type of thing. But looks like this one wasn't too bad. Bunch of familiar names here. Louis Mister, One Man Wolfpack, who's been really solid this season. And nothing too weird on last night's slate. The paying up for defensemen really seemed to work out. So hopefully we can continue. I felt like we were on a lot of the right stuff last night. I don't know about you, but outside of Boston, felt like it was a pretty straightforward slate. But yeah. So we'll see. Ready to talk about these games?
Ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's go to Ottawa and New Jersey. We've got a 2.8 implied total for the Sens, 3.6 for the Devils. Craig Anderson, maybe Anders Nilsson in net. Mackenzie Blackwood confirmed for the Devils, and looks like we've got some new lines. What do you see?
For the Devils, just like they've swapped, I think just 2 forwards, right? Was that was my only note there, that Pavelzak is up with Hischier and Bratt, and then Miles Woods down the fourth line. Did you see something else?
No. On the Devil side, yeah, I think everything's normal. And then we have, I can't remember if Peugeot was with Kachuk and Duclair last game, but he's
totally new lines. So Peugeot is up with Kachuk and Duclair. And then, let me just pull my sheet here. I'm so slow. Colin White was back last game. He's with Connor Brown, Nick Paul now. Baudin is with Bobby Ryan and Vladimir Mesnikov, and Chalopik, Tierney, and Ennis making up that fourth line. So totally new lines all there for the Senators here. Man, like smash spot for Devils 1, but my God, is the ownership out of control.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely high. I think high for a good reason. So clicking over to these ownership projections, these are free today. If anybody's joining late, you can also get a free week of Osmo.com or Osmo NHL Premium using the promo code NHL Free Week, and you can get these for 7 full days before you get billed. You see that the top 3 players on the ownership projections, and these are DraftKings, by the way. We're working on FanDuel. Hughes, Palmieri, and of course Taylor Hall, highest owned players on the slate. Ottawa, pretty good matchup. There's no getting around that. They're more fun than they have been in years past. We'll see if they keep the lines together. That's my only thing about the Ottawa side. But Devils 1 going to grade out as one of the best plays on the entire slate, if not the best for a lot of people. With this ownership, I'm probably going to be a little bit below the field on this Devils 1 line. I love them. I'm going to full stack them when I play it. You can also play Taylor Hall one-offs. He might be finding his groove just a little bit. 7,100 just too cheap for him here. And then, I don't know, man. It's really just Devils 1, and that's kind of all I'm looking at here. I guess you could go to Devils 2, but I'm not really crazy about the Ottawa side just based on how boring the Devils have been defensively. Like, they just haven't been allowing a lot at 5-on-5, haven't been giving up a lot. So maybe if you want to do it, like attack their penalty kill or something like that. But you have anything else you like in this game outside of the obvious?
No, I mean, I do. Yeah, I think I was just going to look up the other ownership here because, I mean, I think like Devils 2 and Devils 3 are definitely in play there. I think maybe the Josh stack is also like a Devils 1-3 stack, something like that. I do also like maybe getting a little bit creative and tossing in some Wayne Simmons, maybe taking out Jack Hughes or taking out Palmieri and throwing in Simmons and just doing some power play stacks. Like if you're gonna stack this one up with some of the chalky or other stacks on this slate, you're gonna have to get creative, right? So, I do like Devils 3 a little. I don't know, like they're both pretty good. They're both pretty decently priced. Ownership wise, let's just see here. Let's see what we got. I guess we can give away all the ownership today. So,
yeah, since it's free, I mean, you can refer to the normal numbers.
Hischier is 7% and Zajac 2% and Rooney 1%. So, I mean, if you really want to get exposure to this game and this pretty decent total, and the Senators pretty bad defense, I think like taking one of these filler lines, especially the Zajac line as well, isn't a bad way to go.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so it's New Jersey 1, and then everyone else after that on the New Jersey side is just filler stacks for me. Probably not going to have more than a few percent of each one. I mean, I don't know. I guess the Hischier line is probably the second for me. What's listed as the second line, but you might see the Zajac line even play more than them, depending on what they want to do. If they want to try to match the Zajac line against JGP and Kachuk and Duclair, which is maybe what they're going to do. But I just think New Jersey 1 is like the best path for success in this game by a pretty wide margin. They're fully correlated. The problem, though, is you've got Will Butcher at 2,800. That's going to present some problems. What I might do is make a group with Butcher and just say, all right, if I play him, then I have to play one of Hall, Hughes, Palmieri, or something like that. So even if you're doing 3-2-1s or something, an unconventional stack rather than the 3-3, you have him tied to someone, because I think a lot of his value is just going to come on the power play and just getting exposure to these guys, not necessarily scoring goals or putting up shots or getting blocks or anything like that. Subban 5,100 has been quiet. I'm not really getting there all that much tonight, but if there's ever a spot where he could break out, I suppose it would be against Ottawa with a 3.6 implied total. Anything else you like here? Shabbat, I mean, do you like an Ottawa line at all?
No, I think I'm pretty. I mean, I don't hate it. I guess like I think that's also going to be like an ownership play. I haven't really decided how I'm going to attack this yet. Well, like, what are you doing with that Hughes line with the ownership as is? Like, are you going to just match it? Are you going to go overweight on your Vegas guys, or
I think I'm going to be under on New Jersey one a little bit.
yeah,
I'm probably going to have somewhere in the 15 to 20% range, but I think there's a pretty good case to be made that both of the Vegas lines are better plays than New Jersey one, just based on
yeah,
the style of play that New Jersey has been playing so far this season. But then you look at
yeah,
the matchup, and it's similar between Ottawa and Chicago, two of the teams that give up the most shots and scoring chances and all that against. So I guess with Vegas, it's just like, all right, well, if you're playing multiple lineups, do you just split your exposure down the middle or what? Whereas on the Devils side, it maybe just more concentrated scoring. You're going to see here for the Devils more often than not. So I guess that's why the ownership is getting pushed to them a little bit more.
yeah, absolutely. And I think I actually kind of like the Ottawa one side of things. That ownership, it looks like Pajot is under 2%. So if you really want to get creative, or maybe not really creative, but if you want to eliminate some of your competition, you can toss in some Ottawa. Like, is Nilsson confirmed yet?
It's not Nilsson actually. I think it's Anderson. I think I just got a
So
message. Yep, it is Anderson.
Anderson Ottawa one stacks. I mean, that's gonna be pretty unique.
I mean, I wouldn't. So if you're playing an Ottawa stack, I don't hate the idea at all of playing Anderson,
Yeah.
because he's going to see volume. Um,
Pajot is just so stupidly expensive. Like, there's absolutely no reason he should be 6K. But this is like the ultimate pay up to the contrarian spot, right? Like, in a vacuum, it's an awful play. And Ottawa one's an awful play at that price point. But no one's going to own them as a result. And so you could pair them up with your Vegas lines or with some other lines that you like, and you're going to have a pretty contrarian lineup in not a bad spot. It's not like New Jersey's a great defensive team. They have the second worst save percentage as a team as well in the entire NHL. So they're not great defensively. They're missing Sami Vatanen, and they have weak goaltending, which is a recipe for possibly an upset.
I don't think it's an awful play. I just think they're overpriced. So you could definitely make a case to play Ottawa one. They don't project out terribly or anything like that. So when I add in ownership, I'll probably get to some Ottawa one, but the other lines are pretty brutal as far as like stacking up Ottawa 2 or 3. So I'll probably stick to the few Ottawa shares I get to will be most likely Ottawa 1 plus Shabbat or Anderson or both, where you're just going like Ottawa onslaught. Could certainly see that taking something down at low ownership.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the Leafs and the Islanders. We've got a 3 implied total for Toronto and 3 for the Islanders. Freddie Anderson and Varlamov expected to go for the Islanders. They've been trading off goalies all season. Last game it was Greiss. So you would expect them to go right back to Varlamov tonight against the Leafs. Any line changes here?
Yeah, so a couple things for Toronto here, a couple things for the Islanders. Mitch Marner is out for them. He was out last game as well. Zach Hyman makes his debut tonight on the second line with John Tavares. Kasperi Kapanen has moved up to the top line. And then my page isn't loading here, but I believe it's Kerfoot, Mikheyev, and Moore down on the third line.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nick Batandra's back in, was called up from the AHL. He'll go on a line with Short and Gauthier. On the Islanders side of things, I think Josh Bailey is up. I'll just double check this. Josh Bailey's up on the second line with Brock Nelson and Beauvillier. And then Cizikas is down on the fourth line with Clutterbuck and Johnston. And then Brassard, Dalcol, and Komarov on the Islanders third line. So also mixing things up a little bit. Crazy stat. I just saw that. What is it? Anderson's really good has been really good. He has a 5-0-0 record and a 162 goals against average and a 940 save percentage in his last 5 against the Islanders. So just throwing that out there.
I mean, that was probably a lot of those games were last year, right? They play a bunch being in the same division. So I don't know, maybe just sees the puck against some of these guys better. But let's see here. So the thing I was looking at for this game was just trying to decide how I thought the Islanders were going to match, if at all. And Vots mentioned Cizikas against Matthews. I don't think they'd be that dumb to do that.
You don't think so? Because they do like
they have done that at times.
Dude.
But like you look at the last game, and they went Brock Nelson, Beauvillier, and Bailey for the most part against Florida 1. And that's a team where, without Trocheck especially, that's a team where they're loaded on one line. And now with the Leafs, with no Marner, with Tavares, like the Leafs top line seems pretty loaded. You got the best player in Matthews, and then 2 quality wingers in Janssen and William Nylander. So I think what we're going to see is Nelson, Beauvillier, and Josh Bailey going up against the Matthews line for the most part. And I think that's a really good matchup for the Matthews line, just from a numbers perspective. The Nelson line, they're okay offensively. Defensively, they do seem like they're going to trade chances quite a bit, and the Matthews line has just been so good at generating at 5-on-5. So I actually really, really love the Matthews line here, and I don't love much of anything on the Islander side. I'll get to some Barzal line and probably some of the Nelson line just as secondary plays, but there's not really anything outside of Toronto 1 that's a priority play for me in this game. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I was actually I've been using the Islanders, the Cizikas line as one of the filler stacks with more expensive lines. I think what's happening maybe on this slate, we're not seeing any ownership for them at all, and which is a little bit surprising. Perhaps it's partly because the New Jersey top line really isn't priced up all that much, and so people don't really feel the need to go that deep to fit them in. So they're not a bad play. I think at super low ownership. They're also fairly cheap. And then I'm kind of with you there. It's like Toronto 1, and then so if the Nelson line's going up against the top line of Toronto, that's a tough matchup for the Barzal. Eberle Lee line, right? Probably going up against Tavares.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not optimal, but I don't know. Without Marner there, I don't know how great of a possession line they're going to be with Kapanen. Getting Hyman back certainly helps, and I think that'll help when Marner comes back. It'll help Tavares and Marner, but I don't know. It's not a matchup I'm super worried about. I just don't love how they project Barzal, Lee, and Eberle. They're okay, but Barzal at 7K or almost 7K. And then I like Lee's price for 5,500. I guess they're not bad. I'm just not getting to them, like I said, as a priority play. There's a bunch of lines I have ahead of them, so probably not going to be there as much as the field. Actually, let me see where they're at. I'm assuming they're not even in double digits, so maybe I'll be closer to around the field on the Barzal line. Probably not a line I'm taking much of a stance on if they're going to be under 10%. What else here? Anything? You mentioned the Islanders depth lines. What's that?
I was going to say your boy.
Oh, yeah. Polak, 5K. Can't wait for his 2 block shots and 1 shot on goal. Really going to take me to the promised land here. But no, I actually do like him for 5K here. Just defenseman against the Leafs. He's getting shots on goal. The points haven't really come in bunches, and that's why you're not seeing the big performances. But he's playing 20 minutes basically every game. He's listed on the top power play, and I don't know. He's I just feel like he should have better stats than what the results have shown. So I'm firing him up again.
The only issue I have with him tonight is that I feel like there are a couple of good plays around there. I really like Esa Lindell on Dallas with no Klingberg. He's getting tons of minutes and tons of power play time, and he's just getting no ownership, just 2% ownership. As well. Then you have Shea Theodore, who's getting crazily owned, and PK Subban are getting crazily owned. Well, maybe not crazy, but PK Subban not even on the top power play unit, but I still like him a lot. Theodore might be a fade at that ownership, quite honestly. So, but yeah, Lindell, that's the guy I'm going to in this price range. Although I do like having some Pulock on there.
Ooh, I like Pulock better. We'll talk about Theodore, but you probably know where I stand on that as well.
I do.
Morgan Riley, Tyson Barrie, actually 2 guys I really like. So I like Riley just if you're going with the Matthews line and you can force him in. I don't think that's going to be really popular. It's only a 3 implied total. So Matthews, Janssen, Nylander, you just onslaught the Leafs. Maybe throw in Freddie Anderson because he's 7,400. He's probably too cheap. Or if you're not doing that, Tyson Berry as a one-off for 4,300 is always someone that I get to, and that's no different on tonight's slate. So like both of the Leafs defensemen that play on the power play here. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, here we go. Caps and the Flyers. 3.4 implied total for the Caps. 3.2 for the Flyers. Braden Holtby and Carter Hart confirmed. I don't get why the Caps have a 3.4 implied total, and that really scares me. But what do we see for changes? Maybe goaltending. That could be it. What do you any changes?
No, I think no changes on either side here.
I didn't see any either. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, all right. So you would think Couturier, Lindblom, Konechny are going up against Backstrom, Ovi, and Oshie. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And if you just look at the numbers for that is terrible for Washington 1. And they're not really priced down. So, yeah, Ovi's probably going to put a bunch of shots on goal. He does every game. I don't know if they're going to be very many quality chances, though. Couturier line is one of the best in the NHL, shutdown-wise. Just phenomenal numbers, like 40 shot attempts per 60, I think they're giving up. Mm-hmm. So, that's a tough task for them for sure, but I think they're going to be able to generate offense as well against the Backstrom line. So I am really heavy on the Flyers here, and they don't even have the highest total in their game. So I'm just wondering what I'm missing here. Maybe it is the goaltending. Like Vegas views Holtby as a much better goalie than Hart, and that could be the case. I don't know, but I love the Flyers' top two lines. So looking at where they're at in the ownership compared to Vegas, like they make for a pretty good pivot, I think. If you're looking to get away from Vegas and New Jersey, I really love the Flyers here.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. That was the first lineup I filled out. Hand-built this morning was Philadelphia too. So they're going to get a ton of ice time if they're going to hard match against Washington 1. And we all know that Washington 1 has had their struggles defensively as well. So it's a great spot for them. And like Philly 1 as well. It's not like any of the Washington lines are really all that good. So definitely like them. They're not getting huge amounts of ownership. Philly 2 is getting about, I think, 5% combined. And I'm guessing I haven't looked at the I'm guessing like Farabee will be pretty low. So yeah, about 10% for Philly 1. So not prohibitive, but also really good spot. And both those lines are going to get a lot of ice time. So.
Yeah. So give me the top two if you want to throw in Voracek instead of Farabee or something like that. Not a bad way to get creative with your Flyer stack, but
yeah, that's a good one actually. Voracek killed us when Farabee got put up there last. Remember that?
Yeah.
Voracek had 2 assists.
Like I think you could also do like Hayes, Voracek or something like that if you're not 3-3 stacking. Maybe you want to leave off whoever it ends up being on Philly 3. 4K for Hayes, 4,600 for Voracek, both good prices. Carter Hart is the wild card. I think I agree with you. That's the only thing that I could see here that would make this total be 3.4. So like I said, I'm not great with like evaluating skill. I just know who like looks good when I watch them, and I know some numbers for lines and stuff. But Philly doesn't take a lot of penalties. Like their time shorthanded, they're one of the lowest in the NHL so far. They have an 85% kill, and yeah, the Caps have a great power play, but like I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing here, so I'm perplexed by this game.
It might just be that, the public is on Washington, right? Sometimes the Vegas lines are influenced by people's perceptions of them. So you have, Philly, who's kind of perceived as a mediocre team and with weak goaltending going up against Ovechkin, right? And that's going to affect the line. So Flyers still first in the NHL in scoring chances against. Surprisingly, the New Jersey Devils second in the NHL in scoring chances against. I didn't know that.
The Devils are?
Yeah. That's count, not rate. So let me just.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta go to rate for that. Devils probably played a bunch of games.
Yeah, exactly.
I would just go by.
It would be less games.
What's that?
Right? It would be less games, like scoring chances against.
Oh, scoring chances against. Yeah, the Devils. Yeah, they've been just really boring.
Top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been super boring. So both ways, like not generating a lot and not giving up a lot. So that's why I'm a little bit worried about them, but
yeah, fair.
Still gonna have a bunch. So like I still get to the Capitals if you just look at it from a team. Capitals won. If you just look at it from like a team perspective against Philadelphia and with the big total, I think I'm just going to like give them a thumbs down or something where I'm not getting to a bunch of Capitals one. I I don't think it's a great play tonight. I really don't. And you look at like they're higher than both Philadelphia lines right now, and I don't think that should be the case. So yeah, play your Ovechkin one-offs. That's fine. I mean, it always is. Even if Washington one doesn't do anything, he could get a power play goal here, and put 7 shots on goal and be worth it. I completely understand that. But as far as the stack, I would be pretty surprised if Washington one was the nut stack tonight. So I'm going to really limit my exposure with my 150 on them. I'm more looking towards the second line, but they're just so overpriced. Talk about spending up to be contrarian here. They're going to get the better matchup against the Giroux line, but they're more expensive than Ottawa one, and I think it's close for those two. And I don't know. Let's see where
I'm good. I'm good on those guys at this price right now. I feel like a fade's in order. So
they're 1%. They're all under 2 on our ownership projections right now.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
So
maybe
I'll have
that's
more than
actually
2.
good.
I'll have more
Okay.
than 2. That's for sure. Like even if I have like 6 or 7% or something, I'm pretty comfortable with
Ownership is not very sharp today. I feel like it's, New Jersey's in a good spot, but my God, like you can't have a 35% own line on a 5-game slate.
that. Well, on a
And I
5-game
think
slate with Vegas too, and
Yeah.
and I think Philadelphia should be in that tier, but you guys
And
already
then
heard me.
that's gonna affect like all these other lines. So I mean, if you wanna, the smart play is probably fading New Jersey tonight, though it's not exactly very.
I'm not advocating for that. I'm too scared of that. I 150. I play everyone as
That's the
yeah.
thing, right? Like you and I always come at this from different perspectives, right? If you were running 20 lineups, how many Jersey would you have?
Probably like 4.
Yeah,
I'd say
see, and so like my crunches are giving me like 90%, right?
Oof.
So I'm with you there. Like I might go down and try to find some new
Sure.
combo and go down to like 20% or something.
That's fair.
Whereas if you're 150 maxing, you don't need to. You can just be at weight and still get overexposed to some lines you like,
Mhm.
right?
For sure. Yeah, that's kind of my play style over the last year or so. So Carlson is 7,700. He just keeps smashing.
It's another one, right?
Yeah, I don't know what to do. He did not get the combo last game. Only had 4 points, and so like defensemen, the top tier defensemen are not great tonight. So you could argue Gio up there, maybe Shabbat, and then there's Carlson and I guess Riley, but there's only a few guys that you really need to pay up for. So when I'm going 3-3 stacks, I'm still going to get to a good amount of Carlson just because he's going to come up as a one-off. So I'm allowing him to be a one-off tonight. I think he can be in the winning lineup even if Washington 1 doesn't go crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas on other slates, I don't think that's really the case.
I am right there with you. And Washington, Carlson's been a 6K defenseman since he's been in the league, right? For like the last 3 years. So like this price point is going to come down at some point. He's going to regress. Washington as a team is shooting about 2 percentage points higher, first in the NHL in shooting percentage. That's going to regress at some point. It's not a huge amount or anything, but that's why you're seeing these super huge price points. It's a big reason why. So
If the Caps are the nuts here, I don't know if I can stream tomorrow. I'm gonna be
just take the
I'm
day
gonna
off,
be
man.
pretty distraught.
Take a mental health day.
If Caps won is the nuts.
It's great though, because like Ovechkin's 20% owned, and I think you're smart. I think it's a good fade. So
It just doesn't feel good when it doesn't work out, though. So in a
Yeah.
variance-based sport, I mean, the Caps, 2 quick power plays, bang, power play goal for Ovechkin. Like you can just see it unraveling right before anything even happens. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But probably not gonna be there if the Caps go nuts. Let's go to the Stars and the Flames. 2.5 implied total for the Stars. 2.9 for the Flames. So the juice is on the under 5.5, at least it was earlier. I'll go and update these. But we've got Bishop and Cam Talbot in net. And shocker, new Stars lines.
I
and-
literally wrote that.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Did you really? Wow, great
Yeah,
minds. Great
It's
minds.
in my call him there. Yeah. So we got Jimmy Benn and Tyler Seguin. They just got called out by their head coach, similar to last year. And I feel like that did spark them last year, though. So who knows? But of course, they're being centered by Justin Dowling, who I don't even know anything about. I'm guessing it's terrible, but they seem to always do that. Dickinson with Perry and Radulov, Pavelski with Gurianov and Kamano, and then Cogliano, Faxa, and Como, I guess, is possibly the shutdown line. They may actually get some extra ice time tonight. They use the Faxa line usually as kind of a checking line, right? So could I mean, obviously they don't last change, but we could see a little bit of extra ice time for them up against the Flames top line. And then on the Flames side of things, nothing major, just that Michael Frolik is in on the third line and Quinn is out.
All right. A little bit to unpack here, I suppose. I guess we're probably going to see Backlund, Kachuk, and Mangiapane against Seguin, Benn, and Radulov. That's not optimal. Or I'm sorry, Seguin, Benn, and Dowling. So Seguin playing winger. What are the odds you think that these lines stick together?
I don't know. Like maybe 60-40. I don't feel like they've been in-game shuffling as much this year.
I don't know. Like these lines stink for Dallas.
Like last game out, they kept Seguin and Gurianov together.
Sure.
For the most part. Like every time I look at the Stars, they seem to be keeping their lines together. That's not to say they won't shuffle them again, but
I just feel like if it's close, and maybe it won't matter if it's close because other lines will be going off and Dallas will be irrelevant. That's probably more likely what's going to happen. But I just feel like even if they score 4 or 5 goals here, that it's just going to be all uncorrelated from what you're actually stacking.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, like, I'm not.
That's why we've been staying away from Dallas this year, and it's been great.
Mm-hmm. I'm not crazy about them. Like they're secondary plays for me because of their pricing. Like I can play them as secondary plays. I don't have to, go Dallas 1 as my top line. So I'll probably end up keeping in Dowling and hope they look good early if they end up being the nuts.
Also, we should mention Cam Talbot.
What about him?
He's in net for the Flames.
Yeah, he's bad. He's very bad.
So he's pretty bad.
So I don't know. I mean, I like Seguin and Benn playing together. I don't know why you have Benn not playing center, but I'm not the coach. Pavelski also playing center. Not sure what's going on there, but centering the third line. So maybe what I might do, and this is something I just thought of now, is just go Seguin, Radulov, and Benn, because you're going to get Seguin and Benn together at 5-on-5 for the majority of the game, I would imagine here, because they're starting. They usually end up together at some point. And then Radulov just kind of the wild card there. If they get going on the power play, you're probably going to see Benn on the top unit if it's an important power play later in the game. So I don't know. I might just play the best Dallas players and just hope that I get it right and go, like 7-8% real Dallas 1 stacks and leave them the rest as far as like stacking the other lines. So they're really confusing to me, especially with these new lines. I'm not going to have a ton of them anyways, so it may be irrelevant. What about the Flames side here?
Yeah. I guess like I typically don't target teams against the Stars too much. They seem to shut things down pretty well. They play at a pretty slow pace. They limit high danger chances and scoring chances. They're number 1 in the NHL in high danger chances against, top 5 in scoring chances against. So not an ideal matchup. This second line, correct me if I'm wrong, has been pretty darn good though, right?
The second Calgary line?
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't look into them. I must have missed them when I was going through a bunch of different lines. I don't know why. Do you like them?
Pull it up right now while you're talking.
Sure. So for me here, like I'm kind of worried about Calgary 1. Like they should be better than what they are. I don't know if someone's hurt or whatever. They're just not clicking this year, but they had solid numbers last year. And then you look at the numbers for them this year. If you just look at like the rates, 200 minutes, right? They're at, let's see, under 2 expected goals for per 60, 25 scoring chances 4 per 60. That's not terrible, but under 8 high danger chances 4 per 60. Like those, they're just not very good right now. And I looked at even like their last 5 and last 10 games, and it's just not like they're not even getting anything going. So they're just struggling to get quality chances. I don't know if this is the spot where they do against Dallas. You mentioned them being pretty solid defensively and just boring. I mean, honestly. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The low total, I feel like I should be trying to get to more Calgary 1 just because they're probably going to be low owned of some of these lines that can just go completely nuts. But at 8% for Monahan, if you call this line like 7-8%, somewhere in there, I'd probably rather just get more Vegas or more Philadelphia as just a pure pivot. So I don't really
So this line has some pretty strong numbers through 80 minutes. 15, 16 almost high danger chances for, almost 40 scoring chances for per 60. So I do like it. And I like Mangiapane as well. I've been like bullish on him ever since he was drafted. He's like a second or first round talent that fell to this ground because he's too short. So if NHL dumbass GMs haven't learned their lesson by now, that's just like a clear cheer for these guys to have success. And looks like early on in his career he's having some. So I feel like that's an upgrade offensively for that line over Frolik when he's there, and I think the numbers are showing that too. So I do like them tonight. I just want to check in on their ownership because I'm guessing because Backlund's really reasonably priced. But yeah, about 5% for that line, not bad at all.
I'm just seeing something on Twitter. I don't know if I can confirm. Is this guy a beat writer for Ottawa? But White will play with Tkachuk and Duclair at least to start, while Paul, Peugeot, and Brown are back together. So
Ken Warren.
What's that?
Ken Warren?
Yeah.
White will
play
Tkachuk and Duclair.
Is that true?
I'm assuming so. Like, it's really weird to get that like dropping at this time of the day, right? So,
well, there you go. Yeah. So
that's a good one to know.
Make that switch if you're using FC or whatever. Back to this game.
Good call. Let's throw it into the old line changes article.
Yeah, perfect. And Nolan's line change article is a premium tool. Well, it's not really a tool. It's more of an article, but it kind of consolidates the entire slate with stuff like that. So stuff that Daily Faceoff might miss or some of your lineup sites might miss, and stuff that might help you get a little bit of an additional edge if you don't have time to grind through all the Twitter news all day. It is super helpful, especially for slates of like 3+ games where you can't be on top of everything unless this is your job. And so that's kind of another article that we provide behind the paywall. Promo code NHL Free Week is how you get access to that for a week and try it out and come join Slack when you do. So thanks for teeing me up there. That's pretty cool stuff. I like Calgary too, actually, now that we're talking about that and you mentioned the numbers, and I actually do like Mangiapane too. Every time I watch him, I feel like he's always doing things. When I watched Calgary last year, like he's always constantly being talked about, and that's when he was playing with like Derek Ryan and Jankowski and like guys like that.
On that third line, like again, like that was one of those times where like that line or that Calgary 4 line had like crazy numbers, and he was probably a big reason why, right?
Yeah, Vots in Premium Slack says Mangiapane was on Calgary 4 last year and he took me to the promised land a couple times. I think Nolan remembers that. Yeah, so that was kind of our guy down the stretch when we were playing fourth lines on these shorter slates.
That's right. There we go. That's my wheelhouse. Love it.
Gio, one of my top guys, just because he's 6K. I've kind of complained about Gio so far this season, but it looks like he's picking things up a little bit. The shots have been up lately. Yeah. Like the attempts are still there. He's still blocking shots. He's still playing 25 minutes. So there's no real reason for me to get off of him. And I wish I would have done the same thing with Carlson yesterday, but I'm holding tight with Gio here.
Yeah, that's fair. I think he's also one of the better plays. Like I'd way rather pay 6K for him than 77 for Carlson. Mm-hmm. So time to get back on the Gio bandwagon. I think sooner rather than later. Same with Riley, underpriced a little bit tonight. There's a lot of great defense values tonight, and that's what's making, I think, bringing up a lot of this chalk as well on some of these higher price lines. So I do like Lindell. I know you're not super high on him, but I think you can pretty much book the shot block bonus tonight. I don't know. He's had it in like 5 of 6 games. Calgary should generate some shots. And then, he's just logging 25 minutes in top power play time with Klingberg gone. And I don't think the price point's caught up to that yet. So, still be rostering him. Yeah,
so maybe it's more of a projections thing where the minutes aren't reflecting of the minutes he's actually playing. So I'll look into Lindell, especially if I go with the Sagan, Ben, and Radulov stack. Like he's the obvious guy to add in.
A fair amount of ice time with them.
Yeah, I'm sure, and power play as well. So that makes sense. Maybe I'll give him a thumbs up or something, or just increase his projection a little bit, because I don't think he's someone that you should completely ignore, especially if you don't know what to do with the Dallas forwards, but you want a piece of it like I do. All right, last game of the night. We've got the Blackhawks and the Vegas Golden Knights. 2.7 implied total for the Hawks. 3.8 for the Golden Knights. Corey Crawford, not Robin Leonard, in net for the Blackhawks. And then Marc-Andre Fleury, no surprise there, going for the Golden Knights. Anything new on either side here?
Yeah, so Alex took returns for the Vegas Golden Knights on the third line with the Cody's, Glass, and Eakin. Fourth line looks, I can't remember what the fourth line is.
It is Nick Waugh, Reeves, and Carrier. Tough names
Nick
for me.
Waugh, not Nick Roy.
Is it Roy?
Waugh's kid?
Is it Waugh? Is it Waugh's kid? I don't know, dude. I thought I was
He
being
had a
French
kid
there.
that was playing for a while.
I don't know, dude. Your guess is as good as mine.
Let's just see. All you know is, yeah, he's from Chicoutimi, so it's Nick Waugh.
Is it Waugh? Oh, man, I got one.
Got it.
There we go. I'm definitely banking tonight then.
Yeah, it's not Patrick Roy's kid. Patrick Waugh's kid. So.
Uh,
All right, a little side note there. And then on the other side, it's Drake Kajula is in the concussion protocol for Chicago. They shuffled their lines yesterday at practice, putting Kirby Dach up on the second line with Tays and Saad. And then Kubalik. Was Kubalik, Kampf, and Shaw the line earlier that was tearing it up, or was that somebody else on that line instead of Shaw?
I think it was Shaw, right? Because I think it was they had the Kane line together, and then it was Tays, Saad, and Kajula or Nylander. It was Nylander.
No, it was Saad, Kampf, and Kubalik.
Oh, was it Saad?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then Nylander's down on the fourth line as well tonight. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's about it. Vegas smash spot. Surprisingly, we're not seeing a ton of ownership here, which I'm like, I can't believe the huge discrepancy between that and New Jersey one.
So like cumulatively, they're up there. They're like the highest owned team, right? But this is kind of good to see where you're not seeing one line go much higher owned than the other. And so Vegas one is a little bit cheaper, and so that's why you're seeing their ownership a little bit higher on like Marchessault compared to Pacioretty. But like I think you can Josh stack the Golden Knights. I will be Josh stacking the Golden Knights with a bunch of my lineups, like Vegas 1, Vegas 3, Vegas 2, Vegas 1, like Vegas 2, Vegas 3, that type of stuff. I don't know. I don't see how they don't just smash the Blackhawks here. So the only thing I'm worried about is just getting random uncorrelated goals, but can't really project for that. So I love the top three lines. I'm going to have almost, let's see, I don't want to say almost none of the Hawks. I have right now 6% of the Strome line, and this was just like running a random crunch. So it might even be less than that. And then the Tays line is a disaster defensively, and they're going to get matched up against probably Vegas 2 and Vegas 1 at some point, and Vegas 3, I think, could run them down. So I don't know. I don't see a scenario in which Vegas doesn't just smash here. They could tilt me and put 50 shots on goal, and Crawford's the nut goalie, but I don't know. I just think they score a ton of goals here, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. Like, just gonna try and get overweight on these. Gonna try and find some unique combos, some double stacks, and just go for it. I mean, I don't think you can fit both these lines in together, can you?
I think you actually can.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you have to like double punt your defenseman, but you can do
Don't
it.
like doing that, but
Like let's say if you go with like, I don't even know. Do we have any $2,500 defensemen tonight? Yeah, we do. Michael Stone and Hanley,
good, though.
and there you go.
My God, you can too.
Yeah,
I think I'd way rather do like a power play stacks and get Shea Theodore in, as opposed to doing those. But I mean, hey, if you want one lineup, why not?
So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do, if I'm running 3 threes or what, or a mixture. And I think what I might do is just run them like everyone's going to have Vegas 1 and Vegas 2 with every other line that multi-enters. So I might do some 3-2-1s and have the 3 and the 2 from Vegas and just try to like Josh stack it kind of like that and include a defenseman, maybe Theodore or Schmidt, just to get a little bit of some differentiation. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing with Vegas outside of playing them a ton.
Yep.
I think the ownership's too low. I think they should probably both lines be higher than New Jersey 1. But Not saying
I
the Jersey
think
one's a bad play, but
just generally, I don't know. You can tell me if I'm wrong here, but I would be more inclined to like full stack Vegas, the Carlson line, and then just take two from the Stastny Stone line.
I mean, I'd
Like
leave
that.
off Stastny if I could. But the problem is
Yeah,
with that is just like finding a one-off center.
but like it just seems like basically when you have two goal scorers like Stone and Pacioretty who are like shoot first goal scorers, like there's probably going to be less correlation between their success.
I mean, Stastny, I just feel
Like
like
Pacioretty scored in 3 straight. Mark Stone did nothing in any of those games, and Stastny also did nothing. So, but like it seems to me like more likely that like one of Pacioretty and Stone goes off as opposed to like Carlson, Marcia Show, and Smith. It's like they always seem to like correlate more fully. Is that
I mean, it does feel like that
more
for sure.
logical?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, the numbers for Vegas 2 are better than 1.
yeah.
And Vegas 1's numbers are really good too. So I don't know. This
Can't go
like
wrong.
don't feel comfortable with your winnings either way, winning or losing, going into this last game because it's going to be the late night hammer. It has to be. Would be really surprised if something from the Vegas side doesn't end up in the winning lineup. And maybe I'll be wrong, but I'm playing a ton of Theodore. I'm playing some Schmidt, but I'm going to get to more of him by the time we get done with the show. I don't want there to be a 40% to 4% discrepancy between those two guys. Even though I do prefer Theodore, I'm going to have a bunch of both of them. And like I said, not very much going for me on the Blackhawks side. If the Kane got, like, it's going to be Washington 1 and the Kane line. If those two lines, either of those two get there tonight and end up being the nut stack, I'm just not going to win. So we'll see. Going to have really low exposure to both of them.
Yeah, that's fair. You liking little flurry action here?
I do. Probably has the best chance of a shutout, maybe. I don't even know. Is it the lowest implied total here for the Hawks? But I'm not sure. Like, I just think the win's going to be there. He's not, like, we've seen him at, like, 8,500 before. I just wonder if the volume's going to be there is the only problem with Fleury here. So there's probably going to be other goalies that outscore him, even if he does get a shutout. And I guess that's the concern with Fleury. You want to, like, are you playing Crawford here at all, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe in like some contrarian stacks. Like I wouldn't mind. Like let's say you do like a New Jersey 1 stack with a Chicago. Is it Chicago 1 now? I guess like Patrick Kane. So like that line as a whole is probably going to get. I'm guessing. Well, it's getting 10% ownership here.
That's
surprising
too.
Yeah.
So
I'm not super sold. I thought like maybe if they were at 5% or something, then that would be a good combo. But
yeah, Crawford's going to see a lot of rubber here, you would think. And so, like I said, with Ottawa 1, if you're getting weird and getting contrarian and you're playing one of the top 2 Hawks lines, you might as well consider at least playing Crawford, a guy that even if he loses and gives up 4 goals, he might score 20 like DK points. It could be that type of game here. The problem is I just think he's going to see a lot of high quality volume, and that's not really a recipe for success, even when you're 7K. So I understand the upside. I'm guessing he gets like 5+% ownership, right? But I'm going to try to avoid playing a ton of Crawford as one-offs because I think people are onto it with play goalies that are going to see a lot of volume. But like 10% ownership against this Vegas team with how bad the Hawks are defensively, I'd probably try to find someone else. So we'll see. Should be a fun one either way. Well, I guess not either way. Could be fun if Vegas goes off for me. And then we will see what happens. Do we have anything else to talk about? Or should we just pimp our free stuff we got going on here?
Do it.
All right, so we've got NHL ownership projections, the ones we reference all the time on the show for DraftKings. Those are free today. Go use those. Ownership is the theme. NFL ownership projections, free today. Go check those out if you're playing NFL this weekend or, the Thursday slate or whatever. I think the main slate is the only one that's free, so check out the main slate. And then ownership rankings are free today as well for NBA. So not quite the projections, but this is more what you would get if you have an NBA Express package. You would get the ownership rankings. Some people like this layout better. And so I would go check those out if you are playing any of the sports, because this is literally free stuff that you get that we unlock for a day, and then tomorrow you won't have it if you're not a premium member. If you do want to be a premium member, promo code NHL Free Week. You've got 2 more days to take advantage of this offer. It is free. You will not get charged for 7 days. You can cancel anytime you want if you don't like what you're getting. But if you want to stick around, you get a free week trial. So promo code NHL Free Week. You get Slack, where we share all the late news and all that stuff, ownership projections like we mentioned, point projections, rankings, stack rankings. We've got all the stats laid out based on what Osmo projects for each skater and goalie for tonight. So a lot of good stuff. Nolan's line change article as well. Is that out already today?
Not out yet. 5 more minutes.
There we go. By the time you guys are probably done watching this, he'll hit submit on that. That'll be up on the site. So what do we got for tomorrow? It is Thursday, right? I got my days all mixed around. I thought it was Tuesday today for a minute, but
we have. I think we have a pretty good slate.
Yeah,
tomorrow,
I think it's 8 or 9 tomorrow. We'll be back, me and Nolan.
Nice.
So
we gotta talk to our boy Slim Cliffy here and get him on here some more too, right? These Monday slates are garbage.
I know he's been unlucky with these Monday slates, but yeah, hopefully we'll figure him out or get him on a weekend show or something like that. But thanks for joining, guys. Feel free to hit the like button on the way out. That helps us continue to do this kind of stuff for free. I see a bunch of you already have. So if you do appreciate the show, hit the like button and then subscribe to the channel so you can see when we go live. That's also pretty important to us. So good luck tonight, guys, and we'll catch you back tomorrow.